Welcome to another episode of Game Time. This week we're in the Four Corners with the Farmington Scorpions football team and head coach Jeff Dalton. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for coming down.
You guys are undefeated, #1 in the polls, outscored your opponents 400 to 36, if I'm not mistaken. What's the one aspect of your game that you're most pleased with right now?
Man, that's a tough one. Defense started off the season hot and really carried us a lot of the time. And offense has been catching up, but really you can't pick one. You don't go 8-0 if you just have one dimension. We're proud of ourselves. And the biggest thing that I'm proud of with this team is they're doing a great job in life. They're just good people, and that's what makes good football players.
On the flip side of that, on the football field, what's the one aspect that might still need a little improvement or tweaking? Might be hard to find one with an undefeated record.
Everything, but I think the one
like
thing we need to make sure we're mentally focused on is special teams. It's easy to forget about. It's easy to make a mistake on special teams when you're just paying attention to the two big sides of the ball. So special teams a small thing to most people, but it's huge in big games.
Well, I've seen you guys return kicks for scores, so I think you're still improving in that positive direction. Brandon Furby is your quarterback. What kind of player is he, and how does he fit into this system?
He's a guy that's willing to just do his job. He's not trying to be a hero. He's not trying to do anything outside of his wheelhouse. He's a teammate first and foremost, and that's what makes him a good leader on our offense.
You've posted 5 shutouts in your last 6 games. As a coach, how do you balance between getting the starters those reps, getting the second stringers some experience in a lot of those games?
It's tough sometimes, and when we feel like a game's going to be short, we can't worry too much about that. The guys that we're going to be relying on the most have got to get the reps, and I think last game we only had 22 offensive plays, so we had to keep those guys in as much as we possibly could. But one advantage we do have when it comes to that is especially offensively, we feel like we get to go against the best defense in the state every single day. So that's where we're getting our quality reps right now, and as long as we're focused in practice and treating it like a game, we're getting better every single day.
Last year you had the opportunity in the COVID-shortened season to play at University Stadium. What kind of experience was that like for you and the program?
It was phenomenal. I mean, we would always rather be right here in front of our own fans. But to go down there, the NMAA did a great job setting that stuff up, and we sure appreciated it. And it was a really cool experience for, a lot of kids will never have an opportunity to step on a college field, and that was a pretty cool deal.
Your program is on a 13-game win streak, and if I'm not mistaken, won 22 of 24 of your last 24 games. Is this the peak of this football program right now, where you guys are at?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Yeah. Every year in high school football is completely different. So we just want to enjoy where we are and keep working hard and make sure we're not content.
Where you are, you have Capital up next. What do you expect out of the Jaguars?
They're going to be scrappy. Those kids from Santa Fe like to get after it, and I think we're going to get the best out of everybody. I think we've got a little bit of a target on our back, and we want to play with one on our back. We don't want it to be a secret, and we want everyone's best football, so we can keep getting better and better too. And
then you finish up the regular season against rival Piedra Vista. What's that rivalry like here in this town?
It's to a football coach, sometimes it's a little bit of a circus. But the community loves it, and they get after it, and there's a lot of anticipatory talk coming up to that one. But the good thing is as soon as the first ball's kicked off, it's a normal football game, and it's hard fought and it's physical, and it's always a pretty good one.
And lastly, what's it like for you to watch this program grow and develop and see it at its peak right now for someone who's grown up with this program and watched it develop?
It's awesome. I played in this program when it was really struggling, and it's hard to do. It's hard to show up, and some of these guys, even just a few years ago, have had their ups and downs. And the most important thing is that we represent our community. We have a resilient community, and that's what we want to be on the field, and we want to represent them the best we can.
Well, you're doing that right now. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, JP.
Good luck the rest of the season, guys. We'll be back with more Game Time after this. The New Mexico Activities Association is excited to announce the NMAA 24/7 mobile app. Whether you're a student, coach, parent, or player, you can have the power of the NMAA right in the palm of your hand. Find scores and schedules, follow your favorite teams, receive special offers from NMAA sponsors, get state championship information, highlights, features, and much more. Download the free NMAA 24/7 mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Get it now.
Hi, I'm Chance Creel from Farmington High School. Welcome back to Game Time.
The Farmington Scorpions had a bye last week, but there were plenty of other football teams working for the weekend. Let's take a look at some of the top plays and performances.
Cleveland and Volcano Vista was one of the best matchups last week, and the two teams delivered on the hype. The Hawks jumped on the unbeaten Storm and built up a 20-0 lead, but Cleveland wasn't ready to take their first loss of the year. The Storm rallied to score 30 consecutive points and beat the Hawks 44-33 to remain unbeaten on the season. Cleveland had 5 interceptions on the game. The comeback of the week, though, goes to Centennial. Las Cruces was up 27 points on the Hawks as Centennial put together a rally and scored on a 4th down trick play with 20 seconds to go as Centennial beat Las Cruces 42-41. Bloomfield went down to the wire with rival Aztec. Bloomfield quarterback Ryan Sharp scored the go-ahead touchdown with 36 seconds left to give the Bobcats a 20-17 victory. Bloomfield gets Gallup next. In another comeback, Roswell scored in the final minute and successfully executed a 2-point conversion to come from behind and beat Artesia 30-29. Goddard put up plenty of points and picked up another win as the Rockets shut out Alamogordo 49-0. Goddard gets Artesia next week. Rio Rancho hosted Atrisco Heritage and dished out a healthy dose of touchdowns. Rio Rancho scored every time they touched the ball. Zach Vigil with 4 rushing scores. Rams with a 50-0 win to remain unbeaten. Academy hosted Grants on a Friday afternoon and posted a shutout on their final regular season home game. The Chargers improved to 7-1 with a 48-0 win over the Pirates. Academy has a bye before taking on rival St. Pius to end the regular season. The Sartans took on Valencia last week. Dominic Esparza caught 4 touchdowns and returned a punt for a score. St. Pius pounded out a 39-6 win. St. Pius is now 6-2 and gets Grants this week. Cibola's Aiden Chavez put up some more good numbers. The Cougars quarterback threw 4 touchdowns and accounted for over 400 yards of offense as Cibola snapped a 3-game losing streak and beat West Mesa 48-7. Clovis is getting hot at the right time. The Wildcats picked up their 3rd straight win with a 28-0 shutout over Manzano. Los Lunas continues to put up win after win. The unbeaten Tigers took down Valley 54-7. Los Lunas is perfect 8 games into the season with matchups against Del Norte and Belen left on their schedule. La Cueva improved to 7-1 with a 48-7 win over Santa Fe. Aiden Armenta threw for 3 touchdowns as the Bears solidify their number 3 status in the Max Preps polls. The Highland Hornets picked up their 2nd win of the year. Josiah Rodriguez rushed for 4 touchdowns against Del Norte. Highland a 51-6 winner over the Knights. Jal is one of the top teams in the state. The Panthers pounced on Loving and left the field with a 54-0 win. Jal is now 7-1 on the year. Speaking of Panthers, Piedra Vista was in the win column last week. The Panthers posted a 47-0 shutout against Los Alamos. Jacob Ramstead had 6 touchdowns in this one. PV is 6-3 with their only game left against number 1 Farmington. Over 1,200 runners took part in the first ever Albuquerque Academy Cross Country Extravaganza. This was a warm-up for the state championships, which will be run on this course in just a couple weeks. In the boys A division, Hope Christian's Rendon Kuykendall beat runners in the big school classification in a time of 15:20.64.
Me and Steven were right neck and neck for up until 2.5 or so. I mean, definitely surprised me a bit. I love Steven, but I know my legs are a little tired. I didn't taper for this race. I haven't tapered for the last 2 races. Probably won't taper for state as well. So it's just my legs are tired going into these races, but still 15:20, good time. I'm happy with it.
The Volcano Vista boys took the team title with 73 overall points. The top 3 teams were all from the same district. Girls A division, Volcano Vista freshman Carissa Marquez was the fastest in the bunch on Saturday. She clocked a time of 18:27.35.
At the beginning, I was up front with one of the girls, and I stayed with her until the other 2 caught up to us, and I just made sure to stay with the front runner the entire race.
Albuquerque Academy took the team honor with 63 points, finishing 20 points better than second place Rio Rancho. Boys B division, Max Brito of Cottonwood Classical turned in a personal best time of 16:55.85 and was happy with his performance heading into the stretch run of the season.
My coaches they led me to a slow start and then a hard finish, so that's what I did. My first 2 laps were kind of slow for my average, but then my finish, I dropped my pace by like a minute and I just tried to catch. And then at the end, I just made sure I was in front.
Defending state champ Cottonwood Classical finished first with 103 points, beating out Shiprock. Girls B Division, Aisha Ramon of Kirtland Central was the one to catch. She finished first in a time of 19:27.46.
It was a good course. I really like Albuquerque Academy. It's a flat surface, couple inclines, but it's a good course. I liked it, yeah. Paced with, St. Michael's girl all the way, yeah. Till like a mile left, and then my coach was like, you gotta go. So I went, and then half a mile left, that's when I kicked it in.
Cottonwood Classical made it a sweep of the B Division as their girls took first. Pewaukee was second, Santa Fe Prep third. Here's a look at the C Division. Penasco state champ Gilbert Valdez finished first, and the Pecos boys were the best team. On the girls' side, Lovington's Vanessa Gallegos was tops in a time of 20:48.82, and the Santa Fe Indian girls won their division.
I'm Keani Benali, Farmington High School, and we'll be back with more game time after this.
Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, did you know one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks? Or that athletes who drink and do drugs are twice as likely to get injured? Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to lifeofanathlete.com to find out today.
Do you love sports? Do you want a front row seat for exciting high school sports action in New Mexico? If the answer is yes to either of those questions, then becoming an interscholastic sports official may be right for you. The New Mexico Officials Association is looking for individuals age 15 years or older to serve as officials in 10 different sports. No experience is necessary and training is provided. If you're interested, call 505-923-3110. That's 505-923-3110. Or go to the website nmact.org and click on the Officials tab.
Welcome back to Game Time from Farmington, New Mexico. Oak Grove Classical Academy is a small school located in Albuquerque. They only have 77 students. Their soccer program is only 4 years old, but in a short period of time, they are turning some heads with one of the top players in the state.
In just 4 years, the Oak Grove Classical Academy soccer program has come a long way.
My freshman year, when we'd play most games with 9 players and lose every game like 10-0, to come around to having a winning season, successful year, it's been a really positive experience for everybody.
Our first year, we had 21 high schoolers in our school, and 4 years later, we went from 0-16 and not fielding a full team to having a pretty solid season.
Oak Grove is currently ranked 5th in their classification. The roster includes Ben Sowers, who is one of the top goal scorers in the state.
I was hoping for 30 this year. My best was 20 my sophomore year. Junior year was cut short for COVID, but 20 my sophomore year, and I thought that I could get 30, and things went from there. I guess got a lot more than 30.
Sowers already hit the 50 goal mark this season and leads the state in points. He has a passion for the game of soccer.
I need a way to kind of express myself athletically, physically, get out, and it's just always been this, and it's just grown into a passion from there.
There's so many words that come to mind. He's extremely talented, very, very hardworking, but most of all, he's got a solid team around him. He's set up by people a lot. I mean, he gets a lot of the credit for a lot of the team's success. People work around him really well. We have some forwards that kind of sacrificially make some runs that open him up, and some other midfielders that do the same thing. So I think it's a team effort for sure.
1, 2, 3, go! The Oak Grove program is a co-op with Manal and Evangel Christian, and also co-ed with 4 girls on the roster.
They make me a better person. They make me learn how to be a better leader every day, and it's an amazing blessing to have an impact on more people.
Oak Grove is hoping for a spot in the state tournament next month.
The brackets for the state soccer championships will be announced on October 24th. That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time. Be sure to check in with us every week. You never know where we're going to end up. And with the fall championships right around the corner, make sure you watch the most comprehensive high school sports show out there, Game Time. We'll see you next week.